I have learned that success is not the result of luck or chance, but of definite purpose backed by burning desire. A man without purpose is like a ship without a rudder. He drifts aimlessly across the seas of life. He struggles, he falters, he fails. But a man with a clear, definite purpose knows exactly where he is going. He focuses all of his thoughts, all of his actions, all of his energy on achieving that purpose. He is unstoppable because he has aligned his mind with the universal laws of success. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. I have written that a burning desire is essential to success. You must know exactly what you want and refuse to accept anything less. Desire is the fuel that drives thought into action. Desire is the magnet that attracts opportunity. Desire is the force that compels men to overcome obstacles. Without desire, the mind is idle, and the body is passive. Without desire, the world will not move for you, but with desire, the world bends to your will. You must nurture your desire daily, feeding it through visualization, through affirmation, through unwavering belief. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. Faith transforms desire into its physical equivalent. Faith eliminates fear. Faith inspires action. Faith creates courage. Faith is the bridge between imagination and reality. You must build faith in your mind through repeated affirmation, through belief, until it dominates every thought, until doubt cannot enter, until hesitation is impossible. Faith is the spark that ignites action. Faith is the engine that converts thought into achievement. I have discovered that accurate thinking is the foundation of all achievement. Men who achieve greatness are not always more intelligent, but they think clearly. They analyze, they evaluate, they plan, they act, they distinguish between fact and opinion. They refuse to allow emotion to cloud judgment. Clarity of thought leads to clarity of action, and clarity of action leads to results. You must cultivate the habit of thinking clearly, of analyzing accurately, of acting decisively, without hesitation. Imagination is the workshop in which all plans are created. It is the laboratory in which ideas are transformed into reality. You must use your imagination to envision solutions to problems, to foresee opportunity, to create plans, to achieve your goals. Without imagination, desire is idle. Without imagination, faith is blind. Imagination is the starting point of all fortunes. The mind that imagines clearly acts decisively and persists relentlessly, inevitably succeeds. Decision is the cure for procrastination. I have written that successful men make decisions promptly and change them slowly. If at all, indecision is the enemy of progress. Hesitation invites doubt, and doubt destroys opportunity. You must train yourself to make decisions decisively, to act immediately, to adapt when necessary. You cannot wait for perfect conditions, because they rarely exist. Action and decision create momentum. Momentum generates results, and results attract opportunity. The mastermind principle is essential to achievement. The coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people working toward a definite purpose creates a power no single mind can generate alone. You must surround yourself with those who elevate your thinking, who challenge your limitations, who inspire you to rise above mediocrity. The mastermind multiplies power. It generates ideas. It enforces accountability. It supplies encouragement and creates opportunities invisible to the solitary mind. I have learned that adversity is a necessary ingredient of success. Opportunity often comes disguised as temporary defeat. You must extract lessons from every setback to see the hidden advantage in every misfortune. Failure is merely a stepping stone to success. Each challenge strengthens character, sharpens judgment, and refines skill. You must embrace adversity, transforming it into tools that advance your purpose and cultivate resilience. Life rewards those who persist in the face of obstacles. Fear is a state of mind. Fear can be conquered by courage, by faith, and by action. You must refuse to surrender to fear. The moment you act in spite of fear, you reclaim your power. The moment you persist in spite of fear, you command your destiny. Fear is the illusion that prevents men from achieving greatness. Remove it, and the path is clear. Success favors the courageous, those who act when others hesitate, who believe when others doubt. Autosuggestion is the tool that empowers your mind. Thoughts repeatedly impressed upon the subconscious influence behavior. You must feed your mind with belief, with confidence, with desire, with certainty. The images you hold in your mind shape your actions, your thoughts are magnets. Your mind is the lodestone the more you impress upon it. The outcomes you desire, the more the subconscious works to achieve them. Guard your thoughts and direct them toward success, for they determine your destiny. I have discovered that men who accumulate great fortunes are those who think clearly, act decisively, and persist relentlessly. They analyze, they plan, they execute, they adapt, they persist, they believe, and the world yields to them. You must cultivate clarity of thought, persistence, and faith. You must align them. You must apply them relentlessly. Your mind is your greatest asset, and when obeyed, it will lead you to achievements beyond imagination. The habit of controlling your thoughts is essential to mastery. You cannot achieve success if your mind wanders, if it entertains fear, if it doubts, if it hesitates. Discipline your thoughts. Focus on solutions, not problems. Opportunity, not limitation. Action, not hesitation. You must train your mind to dwell on what you desire and ignore what you fear. The disciplined mind is a magnet for success. I have learned that the strongest men act without waiting for perfect conditions. They act without seeking approval. They act decisively. They act with confidence. The moment you claim responsibility for your thoughts, the moment you master your mind, you begin to shape reality. The world responds to those who think clearly, act decisively, and persist relentlessly. The moment you refuse to surrender your power, you become unstoppable. The law of attraction is inescapable. You attract what you dwell upon. Your thoughts shape your circumstances. Your mind governs your environment. You must focus on opportunity, on success, on action, on achievement. The more consistently you dwell upon your goal, the more your subconscious coordinates people, circumstances, and ideas to bring it into reality. Your mind is the engine. Your desire is the fuel. Your faith is the spark the world bends to. Persistent thought. I have observed that fear of criticism is a major obstacle. Fear can be conquered by detachment, by faith, and by action. Criticism is a reflection of the critic, not of you. You must listen for truth when it is offered and ignore all else. The strong are unmoved by destructive criticism. They assess, they learn, they discard, they persist, they do not surrender their peace. They continue forward undisturbed by opinion. They act decisively because their faith in themselves surpasses the judgment of others. The art of letting go is essential to mental mastery. Suffering often comes from attachment to outcomes and to circumstances outside your control. You must accept, adapt, and act. You must participate fully in life without surrendering your peace. You must pursue your definite purpose without attachment to results. The river flows around obstacles without resistance, and so must you flow around opposition, around failure, around misfortune, without wasting energy in despair. Silence is a powerful tool. The man who speaks less holds more control. The words of others often reveal their weaknesses, while your restraint conceals your strategy. You must observe more than you speak. You must listen more than you reply. The one who commands the room is often the one who says the least, but listens the most. Silence creates tension, and tension creates leverage. Use silence to observe, to plan, to act at the decisive moment, and your influence multiplies. Mental habits determine destiny. Gratitude counters negativity. Discipline overcomes laziness. Detachment reduces suffering. Focus amplifies results. Daily training strengthens the mind. Like the body grows through resistance, the mind becomes resilient through repeated exercise. You must train yourself daily to be unfazed, to pause before reacting, to breathe before responding to challenges. Most men surrender to emotion, but the disciplined mind controls thought, controls emotion, controls action, and dominates circumstances. Mastering the art of moving in silence is essential. True power acts and lets results speak. The loudest often are the weakest. They crave recognition. The strong work relentlessly in silence. They act strategically. They persist. They produce results. And let the world witness achievement rather than boast intention. If you want to be respected, stop seeking validation. Focus on action, on mastery, on results. Let your work be your voice. Opportunity favors those who are prepared. Opportunity appears when least expected. Those who cultivate skill, knowledge, and persistence recognize opportunity. When it arises, they act immediately. They act decisively. They act with confidence. The prepared mind attracts circumstance. They do not wait, they create, they shape, they dominate. Their success is the sum of preparation, action, and persistence. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve, you must cultivate desire backed by faith. You must persist in the face of adversity. You must plan with clarity. You must act decisively. You must build the mastermind principle. You must control your thoughts and emotions. You must ignore fear. You must persist without hesitation. You must use imagination. You must let go of attachment. You must listen more than speak. You must move silently with purpose. Your mind will lead you to achievements beyond imagination. Persistence is the bridge between desire and accomplishment. You must continue when others quit. You must believe when others doubt. You must act when others hesitate. You must nurture faith, desire, and purpose until they dominate thought, until your mind is aligned, until your actions are consistent, until your efforts are relentless. You will achieve. The world responds to clarity, to persistence, to faith, to action. The world yields to the mind that masters itself. Success is not an accident. It is the result of exact principles applied with faith, desire, persistence, and imagination. You must understand this. You must apply it daily. You must live it. You must breathe it. You must act with unshakable certainty. You must persist without hesitation. You must control your mind above all. You must master thought, for it is the source of all achievement. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. I have learned that the mind is the master of all circumstances. Whatever you allow it to believe, it begins to manifest in your life. Thoughts are forces, and they attract conditions, people, opportunities, and events in exact correspondence with what they dwell upon. You must guard your mind with vigilance. You must cultivate thoughts of success, of abundance, of power, of purpose, and of achievement. If you do this persistently, relentlessly, the universe conspires to bring your desires into reality. Success requires a definite plan. You must know exactly what you intend to accomplish and how you intend to achieve it. A vague desire produces vague results. A definite plan produces results in exact proportion to its clarity and execution. You must plan carefully. You must act decisively. You must adjust when necessary. You must persist without hesitation. You must cultivate faith in your plan backed by burning desire and sustained effort. The mind that has a plan moves with certainty, and nothing can stop it. I have discovered that fear is the greatest obstacle to achievement. Fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of poverty, fear of old age, fear of ill health, fear of loss, fear of conflict. All of these are illusions projected by the mind and magnified by inaction. Courage is the cure to fear. Courage is the action taken in spite of fear. Courage is the bridge between desire and success. You must cultivate courage daily. You must act in spite of fear. You must persist in spite of doubt. You must move forward without hesitation. The law of success is a law of action. Thought alone produces nothing. Desire without action is useless. Faith without work is impotent. Knowledge unaccompanied by execution is wasted. A man may know much, but unless he acts, he will not accumulate wealth. He may dream much, but unless he applies those dreams to definite action, he will not achieve. He may believe much, but unless he works with his belief, he will fail. Faith, desire, knowledge, imagination, decision, persistence, and action must all be coordinated to produce success. I have learned that the power of the mastermind is a force beyond imagination. When two or more minds coordinate in harmony toward a definite purpose, a third intangible force emerges. It is the sum of knowledge, experience, imagination, and energy. It is greater than the sum of the parts. It creates ideas. It opens doors. It generates opportunities. It enforces accountability. It inspires courage and persistence. No man can reach his highest potential alone. You must associate with those who elevate your thinking, who challenge your limitations, who support your growth, who contribute to your purpose. The mastermind is the vehicle that accelerates the path to achievement. Adversity is a hidden blessing. Every defeat contains the seed of an equivalent advantage. Every temporary setback contains a lesson that, if applied correctly, ensures future success. You must examine every misfortune for its hidden benefit. You must learn from every obstacle. You must transform temporary defeat into opportunity. Permanent defeat occurs only when a man refuses to learn, when he surrenders to despair, when he abandons persistence, when you persist. When others quit, when you act, when others hesitate, when you maintain faith, when others doubt, you cultivate strength. An opportunity emerges from the ruins of failure. I have observed that men who succeed in great measure are not those who never fail, but those who persist. The measure of strength is persistence. The measure of courage is continued action in spite of fear. The measure of intelligence is the ability to learn from experience. The man who persists in the face of discouragement, in the presence of doubt, in the midst of opposition, ultimately triumphs. Persistence backed by faith is the surest path to success. Autosuggestion is the mechanism by which your mind becomes master of its circumstances. Thoughts impressed upon the subconscious shape behavior. Actions align with belief. Ideas are transformed into outcomes through repetition, through faith, through visualization. You must consciously feed your mind with thoughts of success, with images of achievement, with certainty of purpose. You must repeat affirmation until your subconscious accepts it as truth. Your mind will act upon what it believes to be real, and your circumstances will conform to your inner vision. I have discovered that organized planning is essential to achievement. Desire alone is not enough. Faith alone is not enough. Action without plan is wasted. Effort, a definite practical plan executed immediately and persistently, produces results. You must plan carefully. You must execute decisively. You must adjust when necessary. You must persist without hesitation. You must surround yourself with those whose skills and knowledge complement your own. You must create a mastermind group to accelerate results. You must align all resources with purpose, and action and results will inevitably follow. Fear of criticism must be overcome. You cannot live in bondage to opinion of others. The majority of men are afraid to act because they fear what others will think. You must cultivate independence of thought. You must act according to your purpose. You must ignore destructive criticism and evaluate constructive criticism objectively. You must act decisively without surrendering your peace to the judgment of others. Those who succeed understand that their destiny is determined by their own mind, their own faith, and their own persistence, not by the opinions of men. The art of decision is essential to achievement. Indecision is the killer of opportunity. Hesitation invites doubt, and doubt destroys momentum. You must cultivate the habit of prompt decision. You must act decisively. You must follow through. You must persist until results are achieved. You must refuse to change your plan without cause. You must act with clarity and purpose. You must cultivate the confidence that action produces and momentum reinforces. I have discovered that accurate thinking is a skill that can be cultivated. The successful man analyzes facts. He separates truth from opinion. He distinguishes between what he knows and what he believes. He weighs alternatives. He anticipates consequences. He acts based upon evidence and reason rather than emotion and speculation. You must cultivate the habit of thinking clearly. You must evaluate accurately. You must act decisively. You must refuse to be swayed by emotional impulses. You must think before acting, and your results will reflect clarity of thought. I have observed that imagination is the workshop of all creation. Ideas are the starting point of fortunes. The mind that imagines clearly, acts decisively, and persists relentlessly, inevitably succeeds. You must cultivate creative imagination. You must envision opportunity. You must design plans. You must anticipate obstacles. You must innovate. You must refine. You must visualize the results until your subconscious aligns with your vision and your actions are directed toward achievement. Faith is the essential ingredient. Faith in self, faith in purpose, faith in ability, faith in the plan. Faith is the mental attitude that creates a positive expectation of outcome. It converts desire into reality. It sustains persistence. It strengthens courage. It eliminates fear. Faith is cultivated through affirmation, through visualization, through belief, through action. You must impress upon your mind the certainty of success until doubt is impossible, until hesitation cannot exist, and your mind moves relentlessly toward achievement. I have discovered that enthusiasm multiplies power and influence. Enthusiasm attracts allies. It inspires confidence. It generates energy. It opens doors. It motivates persistence. Enthusiasm is contagious. The man who acts with enthusiasm inspires action in others. You must cultivate enthusiasm for your purpose. You must maintain enthusiasm in adversity. You must express enthusiasm in action. You must let it fuel persistence, and your progress accelerates. The habit of self-discipline is essential to mastery. You cannot control your circumstances. Unless you control your thoughts, you cannot achieve. Unless you regulate your actions, you cannot persist. Unless you cultivate self-control, you must train your mind to act consistently, to resist distraction, to focus on opportunity, to persist through difficulty, to maintain faith, and to act decisively. The disciplined mind is a fortress. The disciplined mind is a magnet for success. The disciplined mind achieves. I have learned that the habit of doing more than paid for creates opportunity and accelerates success. You must exceed expectation. You must act with integrity. You must serve faithfully. You must cultivate excellence. You must deliver more value than receive. The world rewards initiative. Those who give more than required accumulate influence and opportunity. They attract allies. They generate momentum. They advance rapidly. Because the law of compensation favors those who render more than expected. Persistence is essential. You must continue in the face of discouragement. You must continue in the presence of doubt. You must continue despite opposition. You must continue when others quit. You must persist with faith in your mind, with clarity in your plan, with energy in your actions, with desire in your heart, and with certainty in your vision. Persistence transforms temporary defeat into ultimate victory. I have discovered that the law of attraction responds to the mind that believes, to the mind that desires, to the mind that acts. The universe bends to persistent thought, to unshakable faith, to decisive action. The man who thinks clearly acts decisively, persists relentlessly, and believes unwaveringly accumulates advantage, opportunity, and success beyond measure. The art of concentration is essential. You must focus all of your thoughts, all of your energy, all of your actions upon your definite purpose. You must eliminate distraction. You must direct your mind toward results. You must persist in focus until obstacles are overcome, until progress is made, until success is achieved. Concentration magnifies power. Concentration multiplies results. Concentration transforms desire into achievement. I have learned the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve whatever you think and believe you can accomplish. You can manifest in reality. You must cultivate desire. You must nurture faith. You must plan with clarity. You must act decisively. You must persist without hesitation. You must control your thoughts. You must master your mind. You must align imagination with purpose, and the universe will conspire to bring it into being. Mental resistance is conquered through daily training. You must practice mental habits that strengthen thought, that enforce discipline, that cultivate faith, that eliminate fear, that nurture persistence. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger with exercise. Every thought disciplined, every act deliberate, every day persistent contributes to unshakable mental strength. You must train daily. You must act daily. You must persist daily, and mastery of mind becomes inevitable. Success is the result of applied principles, applied with faith, desire, persistence, and imagination. You must understand this. You must apply this. You must act upon it. You must live it. You must become the embodiment of these principles. You must control your mind above all else, for it is the source of all achievement. It is the source of all opportunity. It is the source of all influence. It is the source of all power. It is the source of all success.